Most people moving to Arizona with horses are focused on one thing: surviving the summer heat. And yes, we did cover that. But there's a second chapter to Arizona summer that out-of-state buyers almost never see coming: the monsoon. Hi, I'm Meg Estees, your AZ homegirl. I'm a Tucson native and I help people just like you buy, sell, and relocate to Tucson every single week. But here's what you need to know before your first big monsoon hits. First, what is a monsoon? Monsoon season is in Arizona and it runs officially from June 15th through September 30th. It's not one storm, it's seasonal wind shifts from a dry westerly flow to a moist southerly flow that brings afternoon and evening thunderstorms, sometimes daily. Most of the rainfall is really fast. We're talking about 1 to 3 inches in an hour in some storms. Arizona's dry desert soil can't absorb water that quickly, so it runs off really fast. What was a dry wash in the morning can be a rushing river by 3 p.m. And the storms are dramatic. Lightning, high winds, dust storms, and flash floods can happen all over the place, and all in the same afternoon. For horse owners, the monsoon brings a specific set of challenges that are completely different from what you have dealt with in, say, like California or Oregon. Now, let's go through them. Number 1 is lightning safety. This is the most critical one. Arizona has some of the highest lightning strike rates in the country during monsoon season. The most dangerous place for a horse during a lightning storm is standing under a single isolated tree. Lightning strikes trees that travels to anything connected to them, including a horse standing nearby. So if your property has a single large mesquite or saguaro in the middle of a paddock, consider fencing it off with non-conductive materials so horses can't shelter there. Lightning also travels along wire fencing, so keep horses away from fence lines when storms are building. If you have a well-built barn or covered shelter, bring your horses in before the storm hits. A 3-sided shelter on lower ground is significantly safer than a single tree or an isolated metal structure on a ridge. The rule is simple: if you can hear thunder, bring your horses in. Stay inside for at least 30 minutes after the thunder leaves before going back. Number 2 is flash flood awareness. This one surprises California buyers most. You don't have to be at the storm for your property to flood. A storm 10 miles away in the mountains can send a wall of water down a wash that crosses your property in minutes. Before monsoon season, identify every low-lying area and wash around your property. Never leave horses in a paddock that sits in or adjacent to a wash if there's any storm activity in the area. Even if it isn't raining at your actual location, after major storms, walk your fence line before turning your horses out. High water and wind can cause some damage to the fencing in ways that aren't immediately obvious. Number 3, hoof health. This is the one that catches first-time Arizona horse owners completely off guard. Your horses just spent months in one of the driest climates in the country. Their hooves have been bone dry. Then the monsoon starts and suddenly there's moisture, mud, and standing water. That rapid wet to dry cycling is hard on their hooves. Wet conditions soften their hooves and increase the risk of thrush, hoof abscences, white line diseases, and lost shoes. During monsoon months, pick your horse's hooves daily. Check for thrush, which smells like rotting material, in the sulcus of the frog. Make sure your farrier appointments stay on schedule every 6 to 8 weeks during monsoon season, not every 10. And ensure your horses have a dry surface to stand on even during the wettest weeks. Number 4 is sand colic, which gets worse, not better. Here's a counterintuitive one. You might think that rain washing the ground would reduce sand colic risk. It does the exact opposite. After a period of drought, when the monsoon rains begin, rainwater splashes sand from the soil up onto the grass and vegetation. So when your horse is grazing after the first monsoon rains, they are ingesting far more sand than they were during the dry months. This is the time to be most vigilant about your sand colic prevention routine. Continue feeding hay in raised feeders or on mats, not on the ground. Maintain free choice of forage so the gut stays moving. And in this season, talk to your vet about a periodic psyllium program if you haven't already. And number 5, the upside. I want to end on this. The Arizona monsoon is also one of the most beautiful things that happens here. The desert goes so green. The saguaros absorb water and plump up. The air smells like creosote after every single rain. The temperatures drop 15 to 20 degrees from the peak of June. And the sunsets over the Catalinas after a monsoon storm are the most spectacular thing I have ever seen. For most of us who've lived here for decades, monsoon is the season we wait for all year. Once your horses are prepped and your property is ready, it becomes your favorite time to be out here too. If you want the full Tucson Horse and Property Ownership Guide, which covers this plus water, zoning, fencing, desert horse care, the neighborhood comparisons, and the local equine services directly, text horse guide to 520-980-9880 and I will send it right over. I'm Meg Estees, your easy homegirl, and I will see you in the next one.